If there's one way to describe Civil War, it would not be cheerful or optimistic. This is a bleak movie with heavy themes, and perhaps the most alarming thing I took from it is how absolutely possible all of these things that occurred in this movie really are. Does that pique your curiosity? If so, let's discuss. Okay, this movie is written and directed by Alex Garland, the fantastic director and writer who gave us Ex Machina, Annihilation, and also the show Devs on Hulu. By the way, if you haven't seen that show, that was a very entertaining show. I liked it quite a bit. Alex Garland has a good eye for storytelling. He knows how to make an interesting story. He has a wide range of talents, and I think he does a fantastic job directing this movie. This movie stars Kirsten Dunst, Wagner Moura, Stephen Henderson, Nick Offerman, and Cailee Spaeny. As I said, this movie is pretty dark. It's very heavy at times. It is not a feel-good movie. But if you're looking for a movie that's going to entertain you, keep you enthralled, and keep your eyes glued to the screen, then this is that movie. We've had a civil war in the past, as I'm sure everyone knows, but I can't help but feel like the inspiration for this movie was born in the last 10 years. That is just my opinion. During the presidency of Trump, our country became more polarized and divided than it ever has been, at least in my lifetime. And I'm not saying that's his fault. Who knows whose fault it is? I'm not taking political sides, but that is what I noticed. I feel like we have so many different opposing views now and extreme views. We've got people who are so far to one side and so far to the other, and we don't seem like we're capable of meeting in the middle. And that is why this movie is so terrifying, because this movie is painting a version of the world where we don't come to a conclusion. We don't get to unify, and it ends up leading to war. Kirsten Dunst in this movie is playing a woman who has seen way too many war zones. She comes off as cranky. She seems very tired. She seems like she is just broken at the core. She feels like she owes the world these photos. She wants to deliver these brutal shots and show people what is really happening in this world. But that kind of life is going to take a toll on you. You're going to see all kinds of horrible, horrible things. And you can tell that her character has seen plenty and it has taken a toll on her. She is not very happy. But it was very cool to see Kirsten Dunst in this movie. I recently just rewatched the Spider-Man trilogy. And so I've been seeing a lot of her on my TV screens and then going and seeing her in this movie and seeing a much different version of her. It was just very interesting. It made me realize I'm getting older. She's getting older. Her roles are changing. She's not playing the damsel in distress anymore. She's playing a woman who is just a modern broken person. Wagner Moura, who gained fame in America from Netflix's Narcos, does a great job here. There's something so familiar about him. His personality just seems so magnetic, so energizing. He comes off as someone that I feel like I know. I can't put my finger on who it is, but there's something familiar about him. When you guys see this movie, you gotta let me know. Do you feel like he feels familiar? Do you feel like you know someone like him? Keep me posted.
You guys are aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
Cailee Spaeny plays an up-and-coming photographer that looks up to Kirsten Dunst's character. She brings a youthful innocence to this role. She's not used to this world. She's new to war, but it's not hard to imagine that she'll end up becoming more like Kirsten Dunst's character down the line. So yeah, in the beginning of this movie, she's very youthful. She's excited. She wants to tag along. She wants to follow her inspiration and learn how she does her craft. But you have to imagine, by the end of this movie, she probably has changed. Stephen Henderson has been great in everything I've seen him in, and that rings true here. I'm not going to talk about his character too much. Suffice to say, his character is kind of the glue that holds these other characters together. He's been around longer. He's older than all these other characters. And so he brings experience, and he tries to use that experience to help guide these people to making the right decision to help keep them safe, because you can tell he very much cares about people. I thought he did a very good job in this movie, and you can see why people were upset that he wasn't in Dune Part 2, because this man is a great actor. Side note though, he said he did film scenes for Dune Part 2, but he was not offended that his scenes were left out of the movie. What a humble, humble man. As I mentioned earlier in this review, Alex Garland is a very talented writer and director, but he recently announced that this is his last time directing a movie, which is quite unfortunate because he is so good at directing. But he did say that he will continue writing, and so at least he's not completely robbing the world of his talents. He's still going to continue delivering stories, and I hope he reconsiders his position on directing. It just seemed like he said he didn't really enjoy the directing process, that he doesn't like all the shackles, he doesn't like all the rules, and just the overall all drama behind the process. He likes just sticking to the writing. If you guys are excited to see Nick Offerman as the president in this movie, well, I have to tell you, he's not in this movie very much, but he does make his presence known. You can't really tell which president or who he's basing his performance on. Like I said, he's not in the movie much, but he is going to be memorable and he's going to stand out, especially to those who are fans of him from Parks and Recreation or any of the other things. Side note, he was also in the show Devs, which was brought to you, like I said, by Alex Garland. Again, check that show out. One thing I thought was super interesting about this movie was that it manages to handle its heavy subject matter without actually becoming political. You don't really get all the answers that you're looking for. We don't really know what caused all the stuff that's happening in this movie. And Alex Garland, I'm guessing, intentionally decided to leave it kind of vague, leave it up to the audience to figure out, like, use your imagination. What do you think happened? Anyways, this movie shouldn't offend you in your politics. Towards the end of the movie, there is some really powerful war scenes that happen. This movie sounded and looked fantastic at IMAX. If you have an IMAX near you, I would definitely recommend seeing in there. The sound was immersive, just all around you. They had helicopter sounds coming from above. This was a very dynamic mix, and I just really enjoyed seeing this movie. It was at times almost kind of loud. There were sounds where my Apple Watch was definitely telling me that I needed to get out of this place because it is too loud for my hearing. Of course, I didn't. So, folks, this is a bleak movie. This is a dark movie. This is not the kind of movie you go if you're looking for some kind of cheerful escape from the world. This movie is going to make you feel nervous, and it should. This movie, to me, is a very possible reality, and that is what terrified me so much. That's what kept me interested, and that's what made me like this movie so much. I very much enjoyed it. I thought everybody in this movie did a fantastic job. I was really happy to see Kirsten Dunst. I am so glad to see Alex Garland. I hope he changes his mind and continues directing because he is a very talented director. So for me, this movie is a 9 out of 10. I would give this movie quite high praise. I would watch it again, but I'm going to watch it knowing that it's not going to make me feel good. But that's my opinion. Did you see this movie yet? If you did, please put your thoughts in the comments and let me know. If you haven't seen it, are you planning on it? Did this review make you think that you want to watch this movie? If so, please let me know by liking this video. And if you want to hear more things from me, please subscribe to my channel. And that's everything I have to say. Till the next time. Later.